Thank you, thank you. So as we are attempting to navigate life, as Raheem sang, knowing that there's all this physical stuff going on, and yet the physical is really backed by the metaphysical and all the things that are really no thing. So quantum physics is teaching us that everything is really just energy. Even if you look at something physical, when you get down to its smallest degree, it is really just energy still, atoms moving. And beyond that is intelligence. So everything, physical or not physical, is really intelligence and energy. And we get to live in that world, in that seeming conflict of physicality and non-physicality, the thing and no thing, being someone and the one, being somebody but no body. And that makes life interesting, to exist that way, to live that way, with all of that, with that knowledge, with that seeming conflict all together. So as we are moving through physicality, we are actually creators who are living in this energetic world, and we get to direct and design that world. And that takes quite a bit of awareness and being in that place where you're going from thought to no thought, so that you can wrap your heart around all of that all there is, which is really God and God consciousness. Quantum physics, some of the physicists are starting to grasp God as that intelligence. Some of them are still kind of kicking and screaming because they don't want to leave that world where they still believe that everything was just the physical. So things are happening, things are shifting in the world where science is opening up to quantum physics and a quantum view of the world. And as New Thought people, as metaphysicians, we've kind of always known that, but it's interesting now that science is starting to catch up with us. But it's still a challenge to live and balance the two worlds. That as you are immersed and faced with this physicality, and you, the no body of you, is in a body. And a body that is often a challenge to deal with. And to still be hyper aware that you are not that body, that you are not that thing. And as we talk about often, as we're moving through this world, stuff is happening to us. Life happens. Stuff happens. And sometimes we need help. Sometimes we need help. That's just the human side of life. So I've thought recently a lot about help. Where do we seek help? That we do need to seek help. I had a problem with asking for help for a long time, because I viewed that as weakness. But sometimes it's just necessary. Because we just may get to a place where we've got too much on our shoulders. Or we encounter something we've never encountered before. Or we encounter something we're now judging is too big for us. Something we can't hold, something we can't figure out. And just because you never had to figure out before, it doesn't mean you can't figure it out. It just means you haven't been there yet. It just means you might have to pull something out of the mental bag, metaphysical bag, spiritual bag, something out of your spiritual practice to help you get there and to know that. But it's always important to know, where do we go to for help? Where do you go for help? You know, when I was much, much younger, in my 20s, probably in early 30s, I always went to my girlfriends for help. And usually they were just as clueless as I was. You know, we're all just bumping through the world trying to make this thing work. But usually they didn't know anything more than me. And so we would get together and talk, but usually it was a misery loves company kind of discussion. And we would stay at that level of the problem because they didn't know how to lift me up and I didn't know how to lift me up. So we're all down here wondering how to get lifted up. What I'm learning and what I experienced as I got older and wiser is that when you go for help, you go to somebody who's experienced in whatever it is that you're doing, or that can hold for you that problem at a higher level, who can lift that up for you and see what it is you might be going through, but also know the greater truth of you and that problem. And that problem. You know, not too long ago, I was working on trying to get to a different level of life. And it seemed like it was just about that problem. But really, everything is spiritual, depending on what your beliefs are. I believe everything is spiritual. That means every challenge has a spiritual resolution. That's where I live right now. That's what my belief is. And so if I have an issue, I have to find somebody who can hold that issue for me at a spiritual level that is greater than what I am able to stand in myself. So I have a ministerial mentor, and she's got decades of experience as a mentor, as a minister. And she's been there. She's been an interim minister, and she's been a pulpit minister. And she has mentored other ministers. And so when I need help, I go to her. We meet on a regular basis so we can talk about this journey of ministry and what that's like, what it's like on all levels of life. She knows how to ask the right questions because as a mentor, she never tells me what to do, but she's guiding me along a path to discover for myself what this higher expression is of this issue, what the higher expression is of me with that issue, and that's usually what that discussion becomes. What do I need to be? How do I need to show up in order to deal with that issue? And she always holds for me a vision of me that I may not see. Because sometimes when we're in a crisis, usually when we're in a crisis, we're down here in the crisis. Mentors and teachers and people we go to advice should always be somebody who can hold you here and help you rise to this vision of yourself. So where we go for help may not be in our immediate circle. It may also take someone who can detach from their own stuff and help you with yours. I do have friends who can do that. Because I have friends who do their spiritual work. And so if I need them, they may be dealing with their own stuff, but they're also capable of leaving their own stuff somewhere to the side and being there fully for me. And they know that if they need me, I can do the same. In fact, my two minister friends that I do that TV show with, Real Talk Sisters, that's what we do for each other. We can flip a switch, as a matter of fact. I can be in the middle of my own stuff and get a phone call from one of them and flip. And all of a sudden, I'm out of my problems, and I'm there for them. And usually, by the time I hang up, I no longer have a problem. Because in helping them, I had to rise. In helping them, I had to detach from the problem. And I saw myself as the helper, no longer as someone grappling with something. I had to see myself in a larger vision to be of help for somebody else. And in the meantime, I helped myself. Because it's always about, how do you envision yourself? Always. Always. If we truly see ourselves as God consciousness, if we truly see ourselves as that unconditional love that we were focusing on when we started, then there is no problem that we can't handle. There is no problem that we can't handle. But we have to know ourselves as one with the infinite. Because the infinite holds all there is first cause of all there is. So we have to get from woe is me. We have to get from, oh crap, or that WTF moment, or that why me moment, and flip the switch, flip it on like you flip a light switch, and go directly to seeing yourself as light and love and all there is. And all there is. And once you get there, everything is possible. For the all there is, God consciousness holds all possibilities are yours when you see yourself as love and light. Even if it goes against what race consciousness, human race consciousness, largely believes and holds. So there's what the world believes about your problem. And you may be in that same belief when you're seeing yourself as just part of this human race who's out here trying to make it happen, and stuff keeps happening to you. And stuff hits the fan, and stuff from the fan is hitting you. When you're there, then yeah, you're one with race consciousness. And you're at that level where everybody's just running around trying to make it work and trying to figure it out and trying to make it better. And so we have to find a way to separate ourselves from that and see ourselves as God consciousness, not when race consciousness. As God consciousness, lift yourself up or expand beyond the problem. And that's how we're able to make that shift that the author was talking about. From futuristic thinking to now thinking. For the infinite always knows that all those possibilities are now. So as soon as you claim in your God consciousness a resolution to a problem, it is already done in pure potentiality here and now, because there is nothing else in God consciousness. There is no future, there is no past. It's all the same. It's all one moment. It's all now. Which again is hard to wrap your mind around, but don't wrap your head around it, wrap your heart around it. Your brain will smoke and blow up if you try to grasp this mentally. It is not for us to grasp mentally. It's like the end of that reading. Just let your light shine. And when you let your light truly shine, you are in God consciousness, because God consciousness is always light. And when you're there, there's no problem. There's no situation to deal with. There's no conflict. There's no moment where you say, oh crap. Because you are all of the things. You are no thing and everything at the same time. So when you hit the skids, and we are going to have those moments, because life happens, and we're in the physicality, and we're moving too fast, and we forget what we truly are. And so in that moment, let yourself be whatever it is you're feeling. Let it run through you. Have your tantrum, stamp your feet, scream and yell. Have your moment, your hours, whatever you gotta have, and then let it go. And then remind yourself of the truth, of the reality with a capital R, that this thing is no thing. That the somebody you think you are, the somebody, is nobody. You are a spiritual being. Jesus, again, as we talk about, always invoked his oneness with the Father. And from there, made miracles happen. He's the great example. That's all we have to do. So you approach something in life, or something approaches you, and you remind yourself of who and what you are, and you hold that as long as you need to hold it until you feel it, feel it, feel it, feel it, feel it, and then you appraise whatever has just come down your path. That is the greatest help, beyond mentors, advisors, wise friends, wise, loving friends. Beyond that, there is always your highest self. So you are never without help. That somebody you need to lean on just might be you. The somebody that you can ultimately lean on is always you. Always. I probably call for help less often now, not because I don't want to, or not because I'm afraid to, or because I've judged myself as weak, but because now I am embracing my God consciousness more often. And so there are many days when I went for the phone to pick up and call one of my girlfriends, and then I put it down. And I say, I have everything I need right here, right here, right here. What's the answer? And I call on my God self. The essence of me. And I let myself feel the God self of me. So that might be a moment of meditation or quiet or something to remind me of myself with a capital S. To remind me of myself. And now, because I'm in that practice, it doesn't take me that long anymore. It used to take me days sometimes to rebound. And now, really all I need is to remember. I stop and I go, oh, okay. It's nothing different. God was still God consciousness before this thing rolled into my life. Life was still good. Divine love was still at work. Everything was always working out for me before this thing came down my path. So it is still working out for me. Because all this thing is new information. All this is more data, but the absolute realm, the God consciousness has not changed. They say there are no constants in life. The only constant is divine love. That's where you can always go. That's where you always are. You just got to open your eyes. Or remember, could have had a V8. Could have had a God moment. And just go there. Right now, the conversation in quantum physics is that we are a part of this universe, an active part of the universe, and we are interacting with it, and it is interacting with us. And we are the designers of life. All those trillion, gazillion, billions of possibilities in the world, we just have to decide which of those things we want. And then we get to focus on it, give thanks for it, and say it is. This is my experience. So be it. This is the law, and I call it in. Amen, and thank you. We get to use quantum physics. We're living in the quantum world. We're living in a God consciousness world. And as divine beings ourselves, we get to create in every moment. So when you meet a problem, when you meet a challenge, create. Don't huff and puff and run around and get mad. There's nothing to be mad of when you are the thing itself. Just say, okay, I've got this. What do I choose now? What do I choose now? What do I choose now? Let's take this in a meditation. So just get still again. And if all things are possible, and they are, or perhaps you're at a place where you're grappling with whether or not that's true. And that's okay. Ask the questions. As designers, we get to test the world. But you also get to ask for exactly what you want. And know it shall be done. So the question here in this moment is, what do you choose? What do you choose? What do you truly desire now? The great example, Jesus, said, ask and it shall be given. Knock and the door opens. Are you willing to knock on the door? What do you choose? What do you truly choose? What is your soul asking for now? What does your soul truly, truly want? Not what the world says you get to have. Not what the world is used to seeing. Not what statistics say. Not what's probable. None of that matters in God consciousness. All that matters is what you choose. In love, with love, for love is the attracting force. Love brings all things forward. Once you choose and give thanks for it and trust in its manifestation, its only choice is to come hurtling towards you. And so all that's left to do is to know yourself as divine intelligence. To know yourself as that love. Not the kind of love the world gives out and takes. Not the kind of love that we sometimes distort, but the love that is pure, that is all powerful, that is all knowing. That sees no need to heal, but only reveal your magnificence. For love knows you only as magnificence. God consciousness only experiences you as powerful, infinitely powerful. God consciousness knows you as itself. and expresses through you. It's only waiting for you to see it, believe it, and step fully into it. What do you choose? It's okay to go for help. But know that you might be the help you seek. You are the thing you desire. If you're looking for love, you are that love already. If you're looking for prosperity, you are the opulent universe in manifestation. If you're looking for peace, you are the peace that surpasses all understanding. If you're looking for answers, you are every question and every answer that has ever existed or will exist. For you are divine intelligence itself. If you're looking for release, you are the ultimate freedom. You get to call things into existence or speak them out of existence simply by your command and your trust in your authority. Everything you desire is within you. Everything you think you need already exists in pure potentiality. What do you choose? What do you choose? Let God and then let it go. Let God and let it go. Trusting that all is well and all is done. And everything, absolutely everything is always working out for you. And so it is, and so it shall be. Amen.